does any table, maybe 2 or 3 tables, have like an exciting aha or something that came out of your discussion that you want to share with the group? No one? Any table have some thought-provoking piece of it shared, or you all aligned around a common idea, or you all realized you could never move forward together? Any thoughts from any table discussions shared? Yeah, thank you. Great. Yeah, that's where the action is. Thank you. Focusing on the policy pitches, because that's where the action can take place. Any other sort of discoveries? Yeah, Gabrielle.
So this table really liked the Vermont Climate Crisis Solutions Act. And
oh.
Under that, this table liked a rebate on new equipment,
yeah,
heating, and vehicles. And similarly, they also felt like if we're going to have a GHG plan,
yeah,
an act, then it would be helpful to have an EU model that focuses on that. And then there is also, we still need to support this here.
Great, thank you. I should never have put this up when I was asking you a question, because already there are horse races and betting going on at the back table. So some of you have already jumped ahead into Slido and realized that we now have this poll where everyone is invited to pick 3, your top 3 of the pitches that we've seen. And while folks are continuing to do that, I just want to provide a little bit of a context. Clearly, we don't have all of our members in the room. And so the goal of this exercise is not to serve as a binding vote, but it's to take the temperature of a significant group of our members and partners around where all of us, the network members, board, and staff, should be focusing our energy in terms of our convening, our research, our resource allocation, and communications over the coming year. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is that some of these are priorities that may already be underway with multiple network member organizations moving them forward. And the question is sort of how can EAN staff and other members strengthen those efforts and help them get across the finish line, where others may need more support from EAN in terms of convening the members to get them off the ground. So what it actually looks like for us as a staff and as a membership, as a network to support these in the coming year may look a little different. But I think we're starting to see that there's a lot of consensus around the, what are we calling it? The Vermont Climate Crisis Solutions Act. This is what happens when you get people in a room, right? Already starting to evolve our thinking about this, as well as harnessing the power of the EEU model. Ooh, just had an exciting switch from the zero energy now and the driving electric vehicles, hovering right around the same spot. What Jared and I are also going to do early next week, we'll send out an evaluation to all attendees and give folks another chance to sort of do this list so we have some representative response. And then the other thing we want to do is that our work on this cannot be done without you, right? So some of this is going to guide the way EAN thinks about the content of our annual progress report, the topic of our Leveraging Change speaker series, the topic of any sort of research through our fellows program, or another initiative like Vermont Energy Futures Initiative, as well as the type of work groups or ad hoc groups we might convene. So there are a lot of different ways we could be acting on these in the coming year, but it's also going to really rely on your ability to engage. So we're going to wrap this up, have a few closing remarks, and our hope is to get the bar open at 4:30. So you can all get a drink and still get out of here by 5 if you want to. But during that social hour, social half hour, you'll see that the title of all 9 pitches are up on a poster on the wall, and there's some markers near each of them. And what I would love folks to do is reflect on, given your interests, as well as the mission, goals, capacity of your organization, where might you be willing to engage in the coming year in moving any of these things forward? And that could look really different. It could be just staying informed and sort of being on a communications list. It could be being part of a work group or convening. It could actually be leveraging resources of your organization toward moving them forward. But in order for us to help organize that, we need to know sort of who's willing to invest in what. And again, we'll ask you this in an online evaluation next week. But I'd love, if you have the time, this afternoon as you're circling. If there's one of these things that you're really ready to commit to say, yes, I'm working on this and here's how, please just go up and jot a note with your name. Conversely, if there's something where you can identify how EAN staff could really help support that effort in the next year, make a note about that with your name as well. And it'll be great for us to have that. We'll collect that information electronically also. Thank you so much for all your thoughtful participation in this whole pitch process, prioritization process. I'm going to turn it over to Jared to introduce our final speakers and to bring us home. But one more round of applause for everyone who submitted a pitch.